Welcome to Evening of Empowerment, the podcast for out-of-school time professionals, educators, and leaders who are passionate about growth, impact, and innovation in education. I'm your host, Richmond Brown, and the founder of Enrich by Richmond, where we're dedicated to inspiring leaders, elevating program quality, and creating enriching experiences for students and staff. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Evenings of Empowerment. I'm your host, Richmond Brown, and I'm so excited to have you here. This space is all about growth, learning, and supporting each other in our journeys as after-school professionals, educators, or as emerging leaders. Tonight, we're diving into the important conversation, one that many of us have faced, Imposter Syndrome. We'll also explore the power of representation in leadership and how true innovation is born out of collaboration. My hope is that this conversation will inspire you, encourage you, and remind you of the incredible impact you have every day. Let's start with something that so many emerging leaders experience, imposter syndrome. You've probably heard this term before. You've probably maybe even have felt it. That little voice that asks, do I belong here? Am I really good enough? Let me tell you right now, absolutely. You absolutely belong in the space that you are in. You absolutely will keep growing and grow into something so much more. You have a purpose in this presence. And I've heard it best this week. You are built for such a time as this. You've heard me say before, leadership isn't about having all the answers. It's about learning to adapt. It's about showing up confidently, even when you don't have it all figured out. Think about a time when you've doubted yourself. What helped you push through it? For me, when I ask myself that question, I think about a recent time when I moved from Charleston to Los Angeles and how many times I doubted myself along the process when I didn't land the job or things weren't going the way I thought they would be. And, I also was like, would I do well? Would I be able to continue my impact in the work that I was doing? Was this really the right time? And all of those things to say, it really was. And then what really pushed me through it was those friendly reminders of me telling myself all the time, you sure didn't make it this far without taking any risk. So I was reminded that, again, those risks that I may have had fear behind, it was due to those opportunities and taking those chances. I've been able to make it really, really far. So again, extending that grace to myself. I want to be very transparent. I was able to do surveys with my team, and one thing that came out was, again, for me as a leader to start extending the same grace that I give. And so again, I just want to name that and let my team know I heard you. So, I just want to start by saying we all have moments of doubt. But the key is to really own your journey. Trust the experiences that got you here and know that your perspective is so valuable. Don't forget this. No one else can bring what you bring to the table. And speaking of what you bring to the table, I want you to know that your representation and your leadership, it matters. Representation matters. When we see leaders who look like us, who share similar backgrounds, it sends a message that leadership is possible for us too. Think about the young people in your programs. When they see you leading, they see you teaching and innovating, you're showing them what's really possible. Think about all of the things that you do and how you show up. There's a child out there that's truly watching you. There's an individual that's really watching you and seeing how you walk with grace, with your head up, and they are looking up to you because someone may have told them that they couldn't be X, Y, and Z, but because how you show up, you're showing them something different. I will never forget the time when I was going for a job and I was told for different factors I would not get the position. And it was so crazy when the opportunity came, the position that I had been going for years and years past had been offered to me based off of the work that I had been doing and what they had seen. And it was so crazy to say, wow, I am in a seat, I am in a position where I was told I would never have. Because again, factors that are somewhat out of my control. And I do believe that me being able to represent a community and also in a space where opportunities may have not been given prior to be able to show up authentically and really show up and do the doggone thing and do it well. I do want to take some time to really acknowledge the impact of leaders who've really paved the way for us. Whether it was in education, business, or in after school programs, representation really shapes our belief in what's possible. We are not just here to do a job, we are here to create a legacy. I was giving a training this past week and I had to let the team know that, just showing up was not enough anymore. Just doing the job is not enough anymore. And I had to share a personal story from the summer of 2015 when I was running summer camp programs, when there were so many things happening in my city, from police shootings. A friend of mine's lost his father due to a police shooting. There was a church shooting that took the life of 9 people. And I had just sang at that church not even 2 weeks prior. And one of the people who lost their life was the mother of a very, very close friend of mine's who I had been friends with from elementary all the way through high school. Those days were very difficult and so hard to show up sometime, and even having to motivate a team. But I was given a heavy reminder that first off, tomorrow is not promised and anything can happen. So I had to shift my mindset and reframe my outlook, and I had to ask the hardest question at that time. And for me, it was like, whew, like I got to be really real and say, what is going to be my legacy that I'm going to leave? Because again, I want to ensure that my impact on the students and my impact on the staff was so impactful and incredible, and it left something for them. And so every day I would show up the rest of the summer saying, how can I make this day memorable? And how can I make this so incredible? Because again, it could be a student's last day at summer camp because they're moving. It could be my last day at work because a new opportunity. And so again, how do you leave, and what is going to be the legacy you leave and the work that you do? Now, recently I had done an interview, and one of the questions were, who are the leaders that have inspired you, Richmond, and how do you hope to inspire others? And I said for myself, I do believe I hope to inspire others by, again, allowing the work that I do speak for itself. I also want to ensure that, again, I'm able to empower all of those around me so that they walk with the confidence in my absence. And so I think of leaders who I've been able to learn from, leaders that saw me, leaders that valued me. They spoke my names in the room before I could even enter the room. Leaders that encouraged me to take the risk, and till this day, they still check on me. It's those leaders that I'm beyond thankful for, to be very honest. The way that they've shown up for me, I'm able to now show up for others the same way. So if I could take a moment to just say thank you to my first after-school counselor, Mr. Jimmy, a leader who has inspired me and supported me beyond. I have other mentors and supports, such as I always say, I look up to the Cornetta Whites, the Michelle Simmons, also Monica, Anthony, Anita, Angela, John, and there's so many others who have truly supported me beyond, and they've been pouring into me, and I'm eternally grateful to have worked in the space, served alongside, and just had your authentic support and genuine support for so many years. Thank you. Now, one thing I can tell you with all of the leaders that I just named, one thing that I have taken away from all of them and learned from is the importance of the power of collaboration. As a leader currently, I think one of the most powerful ways to grow your team and grow people is through collaboration and that engagement. We can build out so far and beyond with our diverse thoughts and experiences that we bring to the table. Again, I said earlier, you got to bring you. Innovation doesn't happen in isolation. When we come together, when we share those ideas, supporting one another, building off ideas that have been shared, and challenging old ways of thinking, we create something new and impactful. We create something so meaningful, and we make something that can make a change. As you move forward through this year, I would offer making more spaces for collaboration and start moving forward in a direction where discussions really can grow to be a space for problem solving and also solution seeking. I was recently chatting with someone about something that we both thought in common, and I seeked some feedback from this person and shared if I had the opportunity to change this space, what would be the feedback that you have for me so I can make it more impactful? This person shared with me if we could change how things were happening so that this space could be more engaging and have more takeaways. They said, could we make this space more collaborative? Could we have more discussion-focused conversations? Could we really make this space safe? As a leader, I'm one who will always evaluate. I'm one who will always listen. And with that, I'm able to strategize. So I'm able to help support stronger outcomes and success. And so with that, again, I tell you, I share with you, and I challenge you to start making spaces more collaborative for people to be able to bounce those ideas off of each other and also share some of the same challenges and, best practices on how to troubleshoot some of these things. So with that, now I have a charge for you. It's our call to action. Let's make it a goal to seek out collaboration, whether it's brainstorming with colleagues, sharing best practices, or simply asking for feedback. When we create spaces for shared learning, we don't just grow as individuals, we elevate our entire field. As we close, I want to leave you with this. You are capable. You are worthy. You are exactly where you need to be. Keep pushing forward, keep learning, and keep believing in your abilities to lead. Don't get distracted by others. In what you see, the work you do matters, and the lives you touch will remember your leadership. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Evenings of Empowerment. If this conversation spoke to you, share it with a colleague, share it with a friend, and let's keep this movement of empowering leaders to continue to grow. Until next time, stay inspired, stay confident, and keep leading with purpose. Before I let you go, I do want to give you 2 updates. First is, at the end of this month, I've decided that I will be attending the Nevada Afterschool Showcase in Reno. I'm super excited to take some time to connect with other after-school professionals in the field while also learning more about the expanded learning after-school community on this side. So if you are going to be there, please reach out and let's connect. Second, I do want to take a moment to highlight and remind you all of the upcoming 2025 Boost Conference taking place in Palm Springs on April 29th through May 2nd. I am looking forward to attending this conference as well this year as a Boost ambassador and enjoying the amazing workshops, discussions, and networking opportunities that they will provide for us to connect as after-school professionals. This year's Boost keynote speakers are going to be Priya Parker, who is a conflict facilitator and author of Art of Gathering, along with Glenn Singleton, founder and president of Courageous Conversations. I am so looking forward to their keynotes and the information and the nuggets that they give us, and it's going to be a great conference ahead. I hope to see you there. As always, feel free to visit my website, www.enrichedbyrichmond.com, or reach out to me via email at hello@enrichedbyrichmond.com. Have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you next time.